Just bear with me, please. The yellow light is on. Okay, that should work. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd of October, and it's 6 p.m., just 1 minute past 6 in the UK time. And it's going to be a slightly unusual setup. For those who are watching my live regularly, I'm not standing up, I'm not in my office, and I'm not wearing my uniform. And that's because I had a gout attack. So I'm sat down, I have my cup of coffee, I can lift my leg up, and I have taken some painkillers. I'm a little bit, but I'm here. And so I'm going to stay here for up till 8 o'clock UK time, if there are some interactions going. And so for those who don't know me, I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here on YouTube and sometimes on TikTok live to talk about mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, mindfulness, and any of those things. And so if you have any questions at all, just ask me, and I will do my best to address them. And so the way that I start my live are always by reading and commenting on some of my posts. Also, if there's anyone watching, could you drop me a comment to make sure that you're hearing me well, please? For the first time, I'm using my little mic here, but I can't hear myself, so I hope that I've not been speaking for nothing up to now. Wilma, hello, Wilma, can you hear me well? Is the sound all right? And until I get an answer, I'm going to get started anyway. Also, for those who, hello, I hear you well. Fantastic. Thank you, Carl Reynolds. And so I'm going to get started by reading some posts. Let's get going. Hi, Didi, breaking up a little. All right. Wilma, yes. I'm going to carry on. Just let me know how it goes, if there's anything that I need to know. I'm really glad that I can follow your YouTube channel. Thank you so much, KK Lark. Kassem, sound is good. Fantastic. All right. So again, for the last time, I'm going to start by reading some of my posts, and then hopefully by the end of it, some of you will have mustered the courage to ask me some questions. We can talk about anything that you want. I'm just going to open the window to have some fresh air. So look, those are my crutches. Oh well. First post goes like this. Truth does not hurt you. Your resistance to it does. So what does this mean? First and foremost, when I talk about truth, I want to highlight that I don't believe in one absolute universal truth. When we talk about the truth, it's more in the context of us expanding our perception of the world. And so we are expanding our own truth. But what we suffer from is not from the truth or the expansion itself. It's from our resistance to it. So we want to realize that we are creatures that are designed to evolve and expand and grow. This is what we are meant to be doing in this life. And so we want to change, we want to grow, we want to constantly expand, because everything in the universe is expanding, and so must we. So that was the point of that post. Next post goes like this. You are addicted to fixing others because it distracts you from the discomfort of the awareness that you should be fixing yourself first. So many of us, we are on a mission to try to fix everyone. And very often we do this because we are projecting our own unhealed wounds. And so instead of addressing our problems, and because it's not easy to address our own repressed emotions, many of us end up trying to save everyone else. And in the end, it may be helpful to some extent to some people, but we're still not healing ourselves. We believe that if I heal everyone, somehow I will also get healed in the process. But it doesn't work like that, because we're all vastly different. And there's a difference between tackling directly or limiting belief and emotional baggage, and helping other people's problems. We want to realize that we are all indeed, again, vastly different. And so, yeah, I hope you understood the point of that post. Next one, you don't need to be tougher. You need to surround yourself with people that are kinder. So this is to highlight how in this society we've all been told you've got to be stronger, you have to be brave, you have to be successful, you have to do this, you have to do that. And in reality, it doesn't work like that. If we are in a state of survival, if we have to do something, we believe that there are no other choice, we'll have to do what we have to do. But what I'm trying to do is to teach people how to be kinder. We can lift each other's, starting with ourselves, with kindness, with ease, with simplicity. It doesn't have to be harsh, hard, stoic. It doesn't have to be us being a warrior all the time. We can absolutely learn how to grow, learn how to do things better, and learn how to address adversity without it having to be a hardship. I want to basically get more people to realize that we don't need to glorify hardship. I hope it made sense. Let me see if there's any comment just yet. Kay, it's better now. Glad to see you. Thank you so much, Kay Stevens. Reborn. What is the definition of successful expansion, material or anything else? Success generally is when we are here and we want to get there. So once we get there, we call it a success. But when it comes to expansion, it's different, because expansion is limitless. We never stop to expand. We don't want to come from here to just there. Expansion is a direction. It's not a destination, it's a journey. And so the success related to expansion would be the mindset that we have. And so essentially, if you have a growth mindset and realize that I want to grow because it's exciting to grow, because it makes me a better human being, because I can see and experience and feel more. Now we're in it for the right reasons, as opposed to trying to do things for our ego. I want to reach a certain point because I believe that I'm not enough, but when I get there, I will be enough. And this is the thing, true expansion is endless. There's no limit to expansion. And so it's like the journey of self-awareness. Or spiritual awakening. It is all about changing our mindset and doing it because of the very energy of expansion that is endless. Not because we want to tell people, see, I'm clever, I'm more smarter than you, I know things or whatever. It's really about us going that journey for the right reasons, not for ego-based reasons. Does it make sense? Reborn? Ryan Charleston, I relate to making the mistake of saving others. Okay. This often happens to many of us because we all go through all sort of things in our childhood, and very often we would be assigned a role. And so if we see ourselves like the person who is helping, who is caring for someone in the family, for many of us, this is going to stick within our sense of personality, and all throughout our life, we're going to help everyone just out of habit because we started like that in our family. But also, there's a part of us wanting to fix some elements of our past. And so very often when we help others, those others are people who are reminding us of some of the people we grew up with. And so they are reminding us at an emotional level about some people. And it is our subconscious attempt at trying to fix our own past. If I fix them, that person that reminds me of mom or dad or whoever, now is going to mean that it was never my fault at first to start with, but also it's going to give me some sort of closure with my own past. Ron Chaston, to save ourselves. Okay, yeah. Reborn, how come your background changed? Where are you now? So I explained it at the beginning of the live. I had a gout attack. And that's why today, exceptionally, I am not in my office. I'm sat down on the sofa in the living room, and I'm also not wearing my white shirt, which is my work uniform, because I'm not working today. I'm waiting for my foot to get better. I'm on painkillers, so I'm okay now, but it was quite uncomfortable up till a couple of hours ago. Ryan, you seem very attuned to yourself. Do you feel that way? And if so, was it incredibly hard work? So again, I don't believe in hard work. I had a hard life. I had a hard childhood, I had a hard teenagehood and a hard start of life. But the process was always about expansion. And so expansion starts with healing if we had a difficult childhood. And so my life was hard, but the process of healing in itself, I can't judge it as easy or hard, because it's the process of me being alive and going through my own journey of self-awareness and trying to understand what's going on, what I can do to feel better about myself day after day. And so I don't believe that the process has to be hard. Sometimes it can be difficult because for some of us, we will have to face some part of us that we have repressed, that we want to avoid. We want to avoid certain emotions, certain feelings. We want to avoid shame, for instance. And for many of us, it's terrifying. It's something that we've been avoiding for such a long time. We have no idea how it's going to feel when we are going to face it. But it's very important to realize that although it may be uncomfortable for some people, it doesn't have to. It is not a condition, a prerequisite condition. For some of us, it can be relatively easy. My transformation was actually enjoyable. It felt good. When I transformed, I felt better, and I felt lighter, and I felt clearer, and I felt more empowered. And so my process for transformation was actually all rather positive. No hardship there for me. But then again, in my case, I've been through so much horrible stuff that anything else would be better in comparison. I'm laughing at that, but it's actually very true for me. When I think about my childhood and the things that I've been through, from that point onward, things could only get better. Just like that song from the 80s. Mimsy, blessings from London. I'm from London as well, so we are in the same city, same time zone. Reborn. If you could go back in time, is there anything you'd have done differently? Example, a regret that needed to be fixed, and if so, why? I'm often asked this, and here's my answer. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't change a thing. And I know that it sounds very strange. No one would ever say that. And the reason I'm saying this is because precisely the journey of healing and self-awareness is to accept that everything about our life is our life. Everything was there for a reason. If we regret, it means that we have not turned some of those experiences into lessons yet. But because I have learned from everything, I can only be grateful for everything that I've been through because of who I am today, because of how I feel today, because of what I know today, because of what I'm doing today. And it's all down to all of those years of suffering and loss and confusion and anger and self-hatred and rage. And if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am. And so if I was going to talk from a position of ego, I'd say I would tell my younger version of myself to understand and know what I know now. But then there'll be a whole different life story. There'll be a whole different adventure. That wouldn't be me. And because I believe in reincarnation, that's the trick. Because I believe in reincarnation, I don't need to regret anything. I don't believe that this is my only life. I don't believe that we only have one chance at it. I believe that we come into this realm of reality to experience something, and we have experienced other things, and we will experience other things, and it's all good. So I'm embracing that one experience. That is the experience of me as Didi Khan, as the person that you are seeing through the screen now. And so I can't regret anything. If I regretted anything, it would mean that I'm still unhappy, and I haven't learned yet from some aspect of my past. Someone asked me that a little while ago in another life, and it's really, I really mean this. There's nothing about my life, there's nothing about my past that I regret and that I feel bad about anymore. It sucked then, horribly, but when you change, everything about your past change, because who we are as a person is how we see ourselves based on how or on what relationship we have with our past. And so in order to heal, we must change our relationship with our past. This is what I always say. There's not such a thing, there's not such a place called the past that we can return to. But the way we see ourselves is down to how we remember ourselves based on our relationship with the past. Hope it makes sense. So although we never go back into the past, when I work with people, we go into regression through the process of hypnosis, and we're addressing not the past, but their relationship with their past. And as we do this, we're literally changing their personality now. And so all of this to say, I haven't got any regret. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Reborn, maybe, but I really, really mean this. We must accept that we must find a way to appreciate, or to at least find some lessons in anything that happened to us, no matter how harsh and horrible and unfair it was. It is when we do this that we have become someone else. And this is what healing is about. Healing is not about being bulletproof and not feeling pain and never experiencing hardship ever again. Healing is about accepting that we all will go through ups and downs, but it's okay, because we have systems that we can use to go through those moments that are unavoidable. But also, we can realize that everything in life is there to teach us something. Everything in our path, every obstacle, they're actually lessons in disguise, blessings in disguise. And if we can turn our mindset into see things from that perspective, then we never have a problem. We never make any mistake. Whenever things are not going our way, we're going to go, here it is. Well, here's one of those things. What can I do about that thing? What is that thing trying to teach me? What is it trying to remind me about myself that I haven't upgraded yet? And just like that, now we have a better relationship with adversity. Whatever comes our way is going to be much, much easier, because now we're like, it's not a problem, it's not bad, there's always going to be a solution. But also, we accept that every moment is always followed by another moment. And so things may suck right now, but you know, the say, after the rain, there's the good weather, the sun. I don't know how to translate this in English, but in French it goes like this. Après la pluie, le beau temps. And so essentially, nothing lasts forever. Our problems don't last forever. Pain doesn't last forever. Joy, happiness doesn't last forever either. Nothing does. Our existence don't last forever. But it doesn't matter, because what matters is the whole story, is the whole journey, is the whole expansion, the journey of expansion. Kassem, do you believe that healing ourselves happens when we get alone, or can we do it in the pressure cooker or a toxic situation? It depends. We're all different. So there's not one way to heal. We're all vastly different and so intricate. And so what it means is that there's not one system that will fix all of us. Because whatever we suffer from is not just one thing. Whatever we suffer from is the collection of many things that have created that one thing in that moment. And so we want to expand our perspective ourselves and realize that nothing is just this or that. If we can zoom out and understand the bigger picture, we could understand more aspects of ourselves and realize, I have this because of this and that, but also because of that and also that, and now I have more element to work with and to make me realize, what is my priority? Where should I start? What is my entry point to fix my problem? What is my number one thing to address? And so, yes, there's not one single system that works for everyone. However, there's at least one system that will work for you at this point in time in your journey. And it's for you to find out what it is. Healing is about us going through whatever is around and expanding our understanding of our options and try whichever we feel is right for us. Kassen, feel better soon. Thank you very much. Thank you. It goes and it goes and it comes and goes. It's life. So there you go. So my old self would feel actually very frustrated. The things that I wanted to do, I wanted to go to the gym for a while. I can't. I cannot even walk without not one with my two crutches because I can't put any pressure on it. It's so tender. But I know that it's only temporary. Everything is temporary. So I'm going to do my best to make the most of that moment, of whatever I have. And here I am doing live, doing my stuff regardless. and still enjoying myself, laughing, being happy because I have a cup of coffee, because I'm very lucky that I have an amazing husband that is looking after me. He went and get me some food and some painkillers, and he helped me do all sorts of things that I was meant to do that I can't do physically. So I'm very blessed, I'm very lucky. Whenever we are going through bad stuff, we want to do our best to focus on the good stuff. Whichever situation, there's always going to be a perspective that is going to make us feel bad or a little bit worse, and another perspective that is going to make us feel a bit better. And so it's for us to choose which side of the coin we're going to choose to look at the situation from. Staying off the grid. Good morning, Mr. Homosexual. Fantastic gay outfit. Okay. I hope that you're not going to try to troll me. I'm very openly. I'm not gay. I'm actually technically pan, but I am a proud member of the LGBTQ family. And so if you're going to troll me, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm creating a safe space here to help people with their mental health or the expansion as to understanding the mechanics of the mind. And so I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt, but I hope that your tone is going to improve a little bit, right? So how long have you been gay? I've been on the journey of discovering who I was all my life. And so when I started my life, we need to realize that this is what we talk about when we say that gender is fluid. Gender is a construct. It's something that was invented by society. And so we try to find out about our sexuality and our gender all throughout our life. And I, for instance, because I grew up in a very traditional, old-fashioned thinking family, Chinese family, I believe at first that I was a straight guy who had some tendencies. And then eventually I decided that I was a bisexual because I could easily date and have affairs with either of genders. But then further down the years, I kind of thought that I had to choose. I thought, you can't be bi, you have to choose. And so I decided to be gay. So for a while I was gay. But then I realized, but it's not true, because I had attraction for all sorts of people. And I realized that I also had attraction for trans people. For me, I'd never seen any difference, whether you have this or that. I connect with people, and I really was never affected by any of those things that society teaches us to follow. And so eventually I realized that I was a pansexual. And so this is just a little story to illustrate how some of us we're going to go through our journey of self-discovery, and it's okay. We don't have to have a fixed label on our passport to show people. It's something that is personal. It's no one else's business. And yes, we should learn how to be open-minded and tolerate everyone for whoever they are at whatever time of their life. Reborn, what's the best mental condition that someone can have and how to reach that state? And so we can't have a best mental condition. I think what you're trying to say is what is the best mental state? And so there's not one best mental state. There's just life and how we're going to navigate through that life. Right? Because otherwise now we talk about happiness. We're going to think that I want to reach that place, that state called Zen, called high version of myself. We want to reach happiness. And it's because we are being lured to believe into the lie that there's such thing as the pursuit of happiness. Now we're going to create suffering, because when we pursue happiness, we are confirming that we're not happy. So what we want to do is to realize that happiness is an emotion, it's a state, it's an experience, and it just happens here and there. So what we can do is to zoom out and see at the state of our life and do our best to let go of our baggage, let go of our address our problems, as in mental and emotional problems, and then after that go through life with a different attitude and appreciate everything that it is about life. Again, happiness is not something that we can collect, that we can have, that we can hold, that we can keep. Happiness is a moment. It's a feeling, it's an emotion, it's an experience, and those things happen. So the way that I explain it is that there's a line in the middle, and I want you to imagine that we are fluctuating like that all throughout our life. That line is the line of inner peace, safety. And that line is going to determine two types of energy that we're going to experience. And so at the bottom, we have all the disempowering and uncomfortable emotions. Fear, anger, stress, jealousy, hatred, all of those things, they all exist there somehow. Pain. And at the top, we've got the good stuff. Love, gratitude, forgiveness, creation, connection, and all of those things. And we are going to fluctuate. And so what we want to do is to spend more time here and less time there, essentially. And how do we do this? We do this by letting go of our emotional wounds, by addressing our emotional triggers, by working on ourselves, by working on our trauma, by working on our limiting belief, so that we can spend more time here. And we're not going to always stay there. It's impossible, because life is about contrast. If we're always in that zone, we will lose the value of it. We need every now and then to experience this, to be reminded of how good it is when we are back there. But essentially, happiness is everything that exists there. It's not just this or that or that. Happiness is that state where we are basically able to create. We have two states. We can either survive or create. And so on survival mode, this is where we are. And every now and then we go into those places, those moments. And the place of creation is above. But it's very important to highlight that all emotions are valid. All emotions are part of our experience. They're all very, very important. And also, the more we experience those sort of things, the further we go, the more we're going to push the ceiling of the good stuff. Because everything is relative. Everything is about contrast. And so, in other words, what I'm trying to say here is that the more we suffer, the more when we have heard, we're going to be high on life and super happy and grateful. Just because now we can see how far there is between here and there, and so that expand in both directions. I hope it makes sense. Ryan, thank you for the little heart. Ryan, ignore staying off the grid. They must be bored. It's okay, I understand they're always going to be troll, but I try my best to address people from the same place that I am as best as I can. Because I also understand that even people who are trolling others, they're still people, they still hurt. And provided they don't go past my boundaries, what I'm going to tolerate for everyone else, I still want to give them a chance. I understand that people who troll are hurt people. I used to be like that myself. I didn't troll online, but I used to be horrible to people in real life because I was carrying so much hurt. So I can understand how, if we are frustrated, if we are depressed, if we are overwhelmed and stressed out by life, some of us would use the social media platform to unleash the frustration and let go of that energy that is hurting them, which is the energy of hurt itself. Ryan, what is the key point to understanding the depth of how, when people we feel are abusive to us, are not responsible, but it is actually our expectations? So let me try to read this again to make sure that I get this right. What is the key point to understanding the depth of how, when people we feel are abusive to us, are not responsible, but that it is actually our expectations? I don't understand the way you structure a question, but I think I understand the energy, the sentiment behind it. And so what I think you're trying to say, and do correct me if I'm wrong, is how do we deal with the idea that some people hurt us and we want to stay safe, but at the same time we want to have empathy and compassion, understand that they hurt us because they too are hurt. And so it's very easy, if that's what you mean. It's very simple. We must always prioritize our well-being, our safety, our mental health. No matter what happens, we must first feel safe. Remember, we want to be in that place. So if anyone always gets us into those places, it means that there's something that must be upgraded, and so create a space between you and them and work on that thing. But then the next moment, is to realize that we can only do what we can do. So it depends on where you are at your journey of healing and self-awareness. If we can, we want to have empathy and compassion, and want to be kind. And if we can, we may even be able to forgive. But not all of us will be able to do that, or at least not just yet. And I was just having a conversation with one of my posts. I had a comment just before, and someone was saying, you must forgive, forgiveness is for you. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't tell people to forgive, because we're not in other people's shoes. And there's a state of readiness. Forgiveness is not something that we do. Forgiveness is when we have heard, and then, as a byproduct, as a consequence of that, we're able to forgive. It goes in that order. We can't force someone to forgive. If we do this, we are basically gaslighting them. We're ignoring their suffering. We are emotionally blackmailing them. And this happens a lot with social media interactions. Like there was a situation with a guy called Charlie Kirk a few weeks ago, and everyone was, you must be kind, don't talk ill of him. And then I really realized that people live in different bubbles. Some people don't have the same source of information, they don't experience the same thing. But essentially, what those people didn't realize is that they're basically telling people who are being oppressed to forgive the oppressors, while they're still being oppressed by them. And so there's a huge cognitive dissonance. But again, people who are saying this, they don't do it on purpose. They don't know. They generally don't know. They're in a bubble, and this is the reality that they have been fed. And they really believe this. But we can't tell anyone to forgive or to have empathy. That's what I was trying to say. We can't force someone to have empathy. We can't say, be a good person, be the bigger guy. You must show compassion. You must be human. You must have empathy. No, we are all different. If I suffer because of someone telling me to have empathy for them, it's just gaslighting. And it's dismissing my own feelings, it's dismissing my own experience. And for the example of Charlie Kirk, is basically telling people, be a slave, suffer from your master, and thank them for that. We don't realize how people on the other side are experiencing this. Anyhow, I didn't want to go politics, but it just came into my mind. So let's see what's next. So Ryan, did anything that I said went in the direction of your question or not? Do let me know, please. Joshua Brown, he's live. Yes, he's live. Josiah, is powerlifting or bodybuilding the best anxiety therapy for men? No. The reason I'm saying no is because we're all different, whether we're men, whether we're women, or anything in between. For some, it's going to be powerlifting or combat sport. For some, it's going to be dancing the Macarena. For some others, it's going to be yoga. For some others, it's going to be cooking food. For some others, it's going to be meditation or spending time in nature or playing with dogs. For some others, we're all different. There's not one thing that is going to work for everyone. And so whether you're a man or anything in between, it doesn't matter. Just find out what excites you, right? Find out what works for you, and then do more of that thing. But we can't recommend to others what works for us, because we're all so vastly different. People don't realize that when people give advice, like online, for instance, they're always projecting their own experience. That's it. So it may work for us as well, but it may not. So we want to be reminded of this. For me, powerlifting was a great thing to do, but I wouldn't suggest it to everyone. We're all very, very different. Grasshopper. So that was very, very nasty and naughty. He's calling me Diddy Kong. I don't take it personally, but please don't do this. I'm creating a platform to help people. Please be kind. And if you have something that you want to be helped about, do ask me. But if I see that again, I will have to block you, okay? And this is how we set boundaries. It's very simple. You tell people what you're going to do if they continue, and if they continue, you just take the action, and just like that, bang, life is happy, life continues and go on, and there's no problem. Brain Zero, I'm sorry, did someone say this? So someone else Brand zero. Okay, so I've got a lot of trolls today. Please don't mention anything about physical appearance. This is called body shaming. There's an element of racism when it's to do with our countries. We're all human beings, and it's very important to start to change the habits from the past. I used to be like that myself. For a long, long time, I didn't realize that I was saying things that were very offensive. I used to be very racist, ableist, homophobic, misogynist, fattist, body shaming, because it's the environment I grew up in. And so that became what I do. And I'm sure that's the same with you, Brain Zero and the Grasshopper Plus. But we want to realize that we don't have to be horrible to others and say stuff like that. We have the choice. We do this because our parents did it, because our big brothers, big sisters, because people we looked up did that. But we can change this. We can be better people. We can be kinder. We can realize that sometimes what we say can really hurt people. It may sound like a joke to you, but if people are hurt, if you care about other people's feelings, it's important to realize that we all have a different experience. And so this is what empathy is about. Now, if you don't get this, it's okay. But if you show anything that tells me that you are going against it, I will have to block you. Okay. Mama First. Hello, Didi and friends. Hope everyone is doing well. Much love. Thank you so much, Mama First. Carl Reynolds. All puddles dry up. Yep. Brand Zero. If you feel the same, it's good. Okay. Kay Stevens. If you were reincarnated into someone different than a human being, what would you like to be? I find it fascinating to think about I would be a bird. Okay, I think I've been a bird myself before. And the reason I say this is because one of my favorite things to do is to enjoy the wind. So whenever it's windy, I just stand up and I feel the wind, and I love the smell that the wind brings. To me, all the smells that the wind brings are like stories that it brings along. And it makes me feel that if I enjoy the wind, that feeling and those smells so much, I may have been a bird maybe at some point in my life. So if I was to choose, I don't know, if I was to choose anything, I would be choosing from a place of ego. But the reality is that when we choose, we are seeing things from a different perspective. Thank you for your hearts. Whatever experience we go through is an experience. And so it doesn't matter. This is the thing. The ego is going to choose, I want to be an eagle, I want to be a wolf, I want to be a tiger, something mighty. But we might be a sloth, we might be an anteater or whatever, and it's okay. I could be a hamster, I could be, I don't know, a French bulldog. And so when we are choosing things, we are thinking from the place of ego. But what we want to realize is that any experience, as far as consciousness is concerned, they're all valid. I talk about it every now and then. I can pursue if you want. Just tell me. Give me some inspiration. Reborn. Is going to the gym, lifting weight after a certain age of beneficial? Going to the gym, moving your body, being physically active is always beneficial to everyone, because we are many things, and one of the things that we are is a body. And so a body must function in a certain way to be optimal. And it's the same with our mind, and it's the same with our soul. And so we want to basically stimulate the mind, the body, the soul. And by the soul, I mean spiritual practice. When we do this, now we are creating a good flow, and things are going to function, because if we use those things will have to be better for what they're being used. And so, in other words, if you don't move, if you don't use your body to do stuff, it's going to lose the ability to do those things over time. And it's the same thing with your mind. If you don't utilize your brain, if you don't think, if you don't learn, if you don't kind of stimulate your mind, it's going to also go down and start to be able to do less and less. And we may end up being only able to watch television for hours and nothing much else. And that would be a great shame. But we are essentially machines, and whatever we do are going to make those machines work better or not. And so physical body, it doesn't have to be the gym. You can be doing other type of physical activities that are just as stimulating for your body to keep being optimal, to move, to do stuff. And it's the same thing with your brain. And it's the same thing with your spirituality. And this comes at a later stage in our life for most of us, because as we get closer to the end of our lives, we have questions and they must be addressed in some capacity. And so yes, it's all beneficial. Just find out what works for you, and it doesn't have to be necessarily just a gym. Corinne, hey, yeah, greetings from Europe. Okay, hello, Corinne from Europe. Bam's perspective, thank you for your wisdom and words, sir. Thank you so much, Bam. Kassem, thank you. Resilient warrior, oh hello, I remember you. Heidi, thank you for your words, and I have been practicing mindfulness, yes, trying to be grateful in small moments with my loved ones, learning to zoom out and observe things, non-attachment to outcome. Fantastic, thank you, Resilient warrior. Reborn, when I reach happiness, it's short-lived, as there is always an element of suffering to it. Is ultimate happiness an illusion? There's no ultimate, it's not an illusion. When you're experiencing happiness, you are experiencing happiness in that moment. And the next moment, you may think about it and now have some suffering. This is what people don't realize. We are not living one moment. Each moment is happening like bang, 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 bang. Each split second is a different moment. And so in one moment, when you feel happiness, the happiness is there. But then you may have some guilt, shame, you may have some thoughts that are going to now tarnish that experience, so that the next moment you're going to feel bad about yourself. But it's not that you didn't feel happiness, you felt it. But it's just that there's a part of you that kind of said, you don't deserve happiness. Oh, let's push it away. You're not good enough. You're not worthy of happiness. And so now you had happiness for one bit, and now it's taken away. And you are left the next moment with a feeling of emptiness, a feeling of frustration, a feeling of unhappiness. You have experienced happiness. And so what we want to do is to realize that we experience everything. And the way to experience more of happiness is to address all of those thoughts, all of those beliefs, all of those habits of thoughts that are getting us to prevent us from holding on and experiencing happiness for a longer time. Right? We have a lot of shame, we have a lot of guilt, we have a lot of limiting belief that we're not enough, that we don't deserve the good things in life. And this is only because of those things that the next moment we don't experience happiness. In that moment, for one bit, you had happiness. And I talk about it in my video that I put out today. Thank you for the little heart. Check it out. I put it out today. I put one new long-form video every week on Wednesdays on YouTube. And the one that I put out today is about happiness. And it's called... So the thumbnail, you see me doing this, and it's gray, and it goes, where to find happiness, in big letter. Where to find happiness inside of us. And the title of the video is Happiness is Easier Than You Think. So check it out. Do check it out, guys, and especially you, Reborn, and let me know what you feel about that video. Hopefully that will bring something useful to your life. In that video, I'm explaining essentially what happiness is about. Some aspect of it, because it's a big conversation. I can talk about happiness forever. It's one of my favorite topics. But at least in that video, if you watch it until the end, you will have a better understanding of how to see it from a perspective that can be empowering to you. And there's a system, there's a methodology, there's something that you can take action on so that you can allow more happiness into your life, more moments of happiness. And so no, happiness doesn't have always an element of suffering, not at all. You have happiness and you have suffering, two different things. But because you are experiencing these things very quickly, it feels like it's the same moment, and it's not. One moment you have happiness, the next split second you have the suffering. So I want to address the reasons as to why there's a part of you that is preventing you from enjoying the happiness for longer or bigger, more of it. Resilient warrior, hi Didi. Thank you for the little heart. I'm learning to not be chained down with past regrets and wrong decisions, been living in the moment and saying to myself, I'm not what happened to me, but who I choose to become moving forward. Fantastic. Yes, yes. We're not what happened to us. What happened to us was only ever a lesson. But if we believe that we're our past, we're never going to be able to move on. Whatever we believe we are, we become. And whoever we are is going to be reflected in our reality. And so instead of addressing our problems from me versus reality, we want to realize that all we have to change is how we feel about ourselves, is the belief that we have about ourselves. We want to work from the inside out, not the other way around. We can't change things, we can't control anything, but we can upgrade how we experience those moments. And as we do this, then everything goes in a better direction. Gunter, love the stream. Just quickly, any tips on how I can get my dad to stop getting super jealous every time my sister and I sleep together. Ah, you're a troll, right? Gunther, it's very, very naughty of you. I'm going to dismiss you and give you one chance. But if you do it again, I'm going to have to block you. Okay? This is a page that I'm taking seriously, like everyone else here. For anyone who really struggles with stuff, I have a sense of humor. I don't take anything personally anymore. I used to a lot because I have my own conditions. But there's a place and a time for everything, and it's not the place for that. Okay. Resilient warrior. Keep reminding myself that life is not to be solved. And also something that I want to add about Gunther. He demonstrated something that narcissist people do. And basically, it's like a shit sandwich. They're going to give you a compliment. Oh, I really like what you do. And then there's going to be something nasty. And then something else nice. So now we're confused. I thought they liked me and now they're saying something. Is it good? Is it bad? And so we're going to use this, thank you Gunther, to basically recognize narcissist. When you see people who are doing this, giving you a shit sandwich, something nice, something shit, something nice, just to confuse you, just listen to intuition. Your intuition is always right. My intuition is telling me that Gunther is a very naughty little boy, and we're going to just ignore what he says unless he asks me something legit about his own mental health, in which case I will be happy to give him a chance. Okay? Resilient warrior. Keep reminding myself that life is not to be solved, but exploring and experiencing. Yes, absolutely. As you mentioned last time, nothing is waste of time. It's all part of the experience, telling myself that we gain wisdom. Indeed, absolutely. This is the mindset we want to have. Stone to flesh. Are you Christian? No, I'm not Christian, not at all. I grew up in a school that was very, very a Catholic school, and I was looked by a lot of nuns by then. So I know well about Catholicism and Christianism, but I am not Christian. I am spiritual, I'm open-minded. I have friends that are from different religious background, and it's all good. So I appreciate everyone's belief, I really do. But there's one thing that I don't appreciate is when people are trying to force their belief into someone's throat. I think that this is the one reason why the world is in such state. If we could realize that it's okay for everyone to believe in different things, then things will be very different in this world. Resilient warrior. Self-compassion is my biggest thing to focus this year. Thanks. Thank you. Fantastic. Yes. Yes. Sartak Gupta. Are you sad? No, I'm not sad. Do I look sad? I'm not sure why you'd say that. Incompatible. Are you Yakuza? So again, you know what? Incompatible. Now, I'm going to give you a chance as well. Guys, there seems to be a lot of trolls today. It's okay. Let's forget about whatever they say, but if I see a same name saying the same thing again, we just have to block it and move forward, okay? But very often, those people, they don't stay anyway. They just want to throw their little spout of frustration out there, and then they just go, and so it's no problem. Kay Stevens, yes, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, okay? Roa Ahmed, hello. Paul, message retracted. Incompatible. I'm lost here. Just bear with me. I'm trying to find out where I am. Bukirk oppressed nobody. I'm not going to talk about politics. I can talk about psychology. What I'm going to say is that if you believe that, you live in a different bubble than mine. Everyone is in their bubble. Everyone has got a different reality. Everyone has got a different source of news and information. Everyone has different beliefs. And for some people, Kirk, but also Donald Trump, is Jesus coming back to save us. And for those people, they really believe that. And I appreciate that this is what you believe. But for a lot of people, we don't see, we don't experience, we don't think the same thing. And so if you believe that, it tells me that we're not sharing the same reality, which means that there's no point in me trying to discuss this with you. Because we're not speaking the same language, we're not seeing the same thing, we're not experiencing the same thing at all. So it would be a total waste of energy and waste of time for me to try to communicate with you. It will be pointless. We don't speak the same language. We don't experience the same reality, right? And so, no, this is not my experience. I don't see that. And if you believe that, I wish you all the best, but I will not engage in that conversation with you. Willward, hello from Namibia. Oh, wow. Okay, hello from Namibia, Southern Africa. Fantastic. Ryan, I feel like I loved your answer and reminder. Thank you for the little heart. But I meant that on a YouTube comment on a video of yours, I responded that does it mean if someone abused us that they actually didn't, and it was expectations that made us feel abused? No, if they abused us, they abused us. So now everything is contextual. Nothing that what we say is to be applied in all configurations. Everything is relative. Everything is within the context of a specific conversation. And so when I say that we suffer from expectations, it's within the conversation of expectations. If we expect things, the more we expect, the more we're going to suffer. Now, different context. People who are abusing us, we don't expect anything. They're just abusing us. We may expect them not to abuse us, but in that case, it's a correlation. It's not a causation. I think we want to stop trying to compartmentalize everything and have some system that are going to work for everything. Everything in life, if there's one answer that answers all the questions in life, it is it. It depends. Everything is contextual. Right? So when people abuse us, we want to seek safety, and if they abuse us, that could be for a lot of different reasons, and we can talk about it. There's a lot of different ways to look at that same situation. But the expectation bit is a whole different conversation. I hope it makes sense. Does it, Ryan? Ryan, I tried to report as many of the trolling as possible. All right, thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you. Un said hi, hello. Ibrahim, Kokul, you look trustable and intelligent. All right, I take this as a compliment. Thank you. Jesse, another one. Jesse, please don't. This is not clever, it's not kind, it's not helpful, and it doesn't even help you. Think about it. What does it bring into your existence to call someone a stereotype, a stranger? Does it make you happier? And if so, why? We do that because we suffer. So you are basically carrying a lot of hurt and you're trying to release it and let go of it. And so don't do it again, otherwise I have to block you. Okay? But again, like everyone else, I'm pretty sure that you're just going to disappear. You may not even hear what I'm saying, and it's okay as well. Kay Stevens, have you ever had a flying dream? I have, and it's awesome. Yes, I did. I did many times. Thank you for the little hearts. Yes, very often people would interpret dreams, and we would also say that sometimes when we wake up like that, it's because we are falling back into our body. So there's all sort of different interpretation and ways to understand whatever we go through. But yes, I have experienced this. Black mapping sup. Ibrahim, tu serais pas francophone? So he's asking me in French, wouldn't you be francophile? Yes, I am. Oui, je suis né en France. Je parle français aussi. I speak French, but because most people speak English here, I'm going to speak English. Unless you find it difficult to speak English, in which case I'm happy to answer your question in French, and I would translate it straight away in English for everyone to understand. Resilient warrior. Hi Didi, talking about moment by moment, my sensei in martial arts mentioned that before, and that made sense now. Okay. Sometimes I feel that when I'm happy, there's that worry feeling that the next thing is sad. But I'm learning that moment by moment is one experience at a time. Yes, absolutely. Just embrace it and I need to grow. Yes, if we can remember that life is not a blur, it's really an endless collection of moments. And so what it means is that each moment brings new opportunities, new potential, new luck, new possibilities. That changes everything. Each moment is always followed by another moment and always brings something new. And so if we feel stuck, if we feel bad, it's okay. There's always another moment. Each moment is a new start. Each moment is a new opportunity to explore something else. Kay Stevens, I read an article about how living with a person dealing with an anxiety disorder can affect another person's physical anatomy of the brain. Yes, absolutely. Awareness without the shame is vital to crucial for health. Yes, absolutely. We influence one another all the time. And so that's why we must heal, not only for ourselves, but also because whichever state that we are in is going to affect everyone around us. We radiate energy through the things we say, through the things we do, through our reactions, through our behavior, but also through just us being humans and creating magnetic forces as we go through different states of emotions all through the day. So we're going to all affect one another. And so people who are suffering from anxiety or from anything else would absolutely impact in some capacity the people in their lives. And that's why it's so important to work on ourselves at an individual and collective level. A lot of people in society, they don't know that they have problems, and they create a lot of suffering for everyone else because they believe that this is their personality, this is who they are, it's normal, and everyone takes it for granted, and everyone suffers unnecessarily. Thank you. Claire, lovely. Do you meditate regularly? Yes, I do. I am curious. Came across your short recently and really found them useful/helpful. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Yes, I do practice all sort of protocols of meditation and mindfulness every day, all day long. They are very important, and they are not something that we do anymore. They become habits of life. Like, it's not even something that we do, it's how we do things. And so I can give an example. It's like if I realize that I've been hunched all my life and I want to have a better posture, eventually as I get a better posture, I'm going to be able to move differently. And so practice of mindfulness and meditation is that. It's not about doing that thing. It's how you're going to do everything. As you practice mindfulness, you're able to incorporate it in every element of your life. As you practice meditation, you're also able to bring that sort of experience into how you are going to see and think things through in your day-to-day routine over time. Someone you used to know, how would you move trapped energy that's stored in the body from trauma? Thank you again for the little heart, wherever it is. You go through therapy. You find out what it is that works for you. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but you want to find out what is the protocol that will work for you at this point in time in your journey. One of the problems with society is that we've been brainwashed into believing that there's a magic pill for everything, and there's no such thing. It's about understanding the bigger picture of ourselves, the whole story of our past and what happened in our body and our mind as a result of those things, and how we're going to change our habits of thoughts and emotions, but also upgrade our environment and our lifestyle so that we can live optimally. But there's not just one thing that will work for removing trapped energy in your body. It depends. It can be somatic exercises, it can be massage training, it can be stuff to do with hypnosis, meditation. It can be so many things. It's for you to find out what it is, right? Now, if you want to give me precisely your problem, we can work and find out something together. Right? How would you move trapped energy? There's a lot of different type of trapped energy, and yeah, it's a huge topic. It depends. But again, if you want to tell me about you precisely, I'll be more than happy to explore your specific problem, okay? But we want to stop thinking that there's something that's going to fix everyone, because there's no such thing. It's about us finding out what works for us at this point in time in our journey of healing. I hope it makes sense. Someone you used to know. Sandra, hi, reborn. Today full of chores. Yes. What's their target in life? Are these lost souls? They're not. Anyone can be like that. It's not about their target in life. We are vessels, and we carry energy, and we pass on the energy that we carry. And so if we are hurt, if we are angry, if we are frustrated, at the first chance we can release that energy without impunity, we will do this. And that's why I have tremendous compassion for trolls. I understand where they're coming from. I used to suffer myself, and I used to be horrible to people as well. And I didn't do it online, I did it in real life. And so I understand that we only do what we do because we are carrying some energy. We all have our baggage. No one chooses to be a troll. No one chooses to suffer. No one chooses to be angry. No one chooses to feel lonely and depressed or unseen. And so we have to come on the social media to be seen, to be heard, to express themselves. We don't choose that. And so it's not like a type of people. There are people who suffer. We all suffer in some capacity. We all have different baggage and things to deal with. But if you want to basically, if you want to create an avatar whenever you're going to face trolls, the best way to do this is to see someone who hurts. See a little child who just want to be heard. It just want to shout and to scream and to let out its pain. And if you can do that, it's much easier to deal with trolls. We don't take things personally. If we react to them in that moment where the child, it's not fair, how dare you speak to me like that? Instead, I want to understand that it's just words. It has no power over me. But also if I can look at those people through the lenses of compassion, now their energy is totally neutralized. They cannot hurt me anymore ever because I feel sorry for them. It's very hard to feel bad when we feel sorry for someone. And so you're probably all gone by now, but anyone who's been trolling me from the start, I do have genuine compassion for you. I believe that. I mean that. I really mean that. I believe that we are all the same and we're all doing our best, and so it's okay. However, I must set boundaries because I'm creating a space for everyone here to feel safe and to express themselves. And so for everyone else, I need to take action if I see that there's a little bit of resistance to my boundaries. D. Anu, message retracted. Resilient warrior. Hi Didi. Any thoughts when you feel emotion, anger, worry, overwhelmed? Do you practice something in the moment? I do take pause, breath, detach, step back, recalibrate, and it helps me. Thanks. What you just said works well. It depends. It depends. We're all very vastly different. Some of us will be able to address our thoughts, to address our emotions the next moment, and to come back to a place of mental clarity. Some of us will not. It depends on the baggage we have and where we are again in our journey of healing and discovery, self-discovery. But if you say that you've been doing this, then it's all good. It's all good. What we want to realize is that when we get emotional, angry, anxious, reactive in any way, in that moment, we are feeling an emotion that exists because we have created a trigger for it to happen. Everything that happened to us emotionally are the autopilot, the system that we put into place in childhood. And so in this moment, there's nothing we can do about it. We will react, we will feel angry, we will feel scared, we will feel hatred or whatever that we feel. But the next moment, we can work on that. Just bear with me, please. My watch is telling me that I must put out my third post of the day on TikTok. So just 1 second, please. You're not avoiding people. You are avoiding confusion.
Relationships is to remind.
I think it's out. Okay, yes, it is. Thank you. Sorry, guys. So, where was I? So what you do, you pause, breath, detach, step back. What we want to do is to realize that we react emotionally in the moment, and there's nothing we can do about it in the moment. We can work before and after. But in the moment, whatever reactions we have is always what is happening in the moment. And so the more we work on our limiting belief, on our triggers, the more we're able to come back quickly from a place of emotional reaction to a place of mental clarity. But for some of us, it's going to be easier. For some of us, it's going to be harder. If you've been traumatized, if you have some neurodevelopmental disorders, then it's going to be much, much, much harder because our brain is different. Essentially, the frontal cortex is the part of our brain that is going to regulate how we feel. And so how it works is that in the moment, we are reacting to everything all the time. We are 95% emotion. So we are literally programmed to react to everything in different ways, different level of intensity and duration, but we react to life, whatever we're perceiving outside, whatever we're feeling from the inside. It's all what we call the automatic pilot, the subconscious program. But as we react, if we have not been traumatized, if we have a neurotypical brain, Our frontal cortex is going to be able to address the amygdala, the part of the brain that is in charge with fear, and it's going to tell it, it's okay, you're not in danger, you can chill out. And so now, within split second, now we are going back from the reaction to rational, and we can choose our response to that situation. But if we've been traumatized, we don't have that ability. If we are traumatized, our brain is literally on a constant state of reactivity because we haven't healed our trauma yet. And so that's why when people say, you must learn how to control yourself, control your emotions, learn how to be stoic, learn how to respond instead of reacting. And it's not true. We cannot choose how to react in any other way than how we react. It's just that people don't realize that they're reacting, however, because they don't have any trauma, they're able, after that, to come back to a normal state. And they have that ability because they didn't have the baggage that some other people have. So this is very important to realize. There's a lot of people who are looking down on mental health because they don't know, they don't understand. They believe that you have to control yourself. If I can do this, you can do this too. Sometimes I'm a bit down, but I put myself together. And so if you are depressed, you can also find a way not to be depressed. And it's just not true. We're all so different. But this is where empathy and also education, understanding the mechanics of the mind is so important. Ryan Charleston, it makes sense? It made sense. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for that response. Thank you, Ryan. Pajit, hello. How can I handle a borderline colleague which I rejected in dating and she's upset? You can't handle them. It's not your job to handle them. People are people. I have borderline personality disorder myself, and we are extremely impossible to deal with. It's one of the most difficult conditions to have in society because we can't regulate ourselves emotionally. We're going to be over the top. The way we interpret reality is different to anyone else. And so what you want to do is to do your best to remind yourself that colleague has borderline personality disorder. So you're meant to be extra kind with them and do your best to be kind. They may never forgive you. It may be too late. They may always think, that person hurt me once. That person is my enemy forever. This is what we think when we have BPD. We think about things, we label things, and we need to have some illusion of control and understand who is our friends, who is our foes and enemies. And so if you are rejected someone in dating, they may hate you forever, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just be kind as much as you can. Remember that that person is not experiencing things like you do. That person is hypersensitive, and it's not their fault. We're not hypersensitive because we choose, because we're weak, because we're inferior. We're hypersensitive because we have been traumatized and we have not healed yet. So no one chooses to have BPD, no one chooses to be sensitive. There are people who need love, compassion, patience. And if they put a target on your back because you rejected them once already, just accept. It's not for you to handle, just be kind and tell them, I'm sorry that this happened, but I hope that we can move on. And just do your best to do your stuff and keep some space between you and them. Don't try to explain. Don't try to change anything, because the more you do this, the more this could be misinterpreted by them and make things even worse. And so, yeah, thank you for the heart. Catherine Byrne, thank you for modeling setting healthy boundaries live. I appreciate you. Fantastic. Yes, it's very easy to do. It's really, really easy. But because we're reacting emotionally, we're forgetting that we can do this. And this is the same in real life. If someone is going to be an a-hole, say something derogatory to me, I'm going to say, you know what? Strike one, and no strike two. If you do it again, I'm going to do this. And then as they will do it again, most probably apply the boundary. The most important part of boundaries is to apply them. If you just talk about it, it's worth nothing. People learn by realizing that you mean business, that you are walking the walk. And just like that, you learn how to keep the toxic people away from you, but also you're reinforcing your sense of self. You're reminding yourself, I have power. I don't need to allow people to take advantage of me, to keep on hurting me. I don't need to be a people pleaser anymore. Resilient warrior. As a nurse working in critical care with a very sick patient, Thanks for the reminder. Okay, fantastic. I didn't even realize that you were doing this. At times, when I care for patients, I get worried for my loved ones, but I realized we're all going there and be grateful. Okay, okay. Clorox, this guy is a pseudoscientist. I'm not a pseudoscientist, not at all. So, yeah, I don't know where it comes from. If you're trying to get a reaction from me, it's not going to happen. I can see you. And let's see what happens next. Claire M, thanks. I realized also I was hunched over and aimed to be mindful of that. Okay. Cher Bear. Oh, hello, Cher Bear. Resilient Warrior. Didi, last time you mentioned about mindfulness and there's two kinds beside observing versus being in the flow. Yes, yes. Being mindful is not just about observing. We can be mindful of doing something. So when we are fully focused on what we're doing, this is what we call being in a state of flow. We don't think about it, we're just doing. We are the doing. We're the momentum, we're the energy of creation, we're the energy of what we're doing. So when we're in the state, it is still a state of mindfulness, because mindfulness is about being focused on something without any thought, without any judgment. And so when we are fully focused on what we're doing, in that moment, we're also elevating our energy. We are a different version, a potential of ourselves. That's when we create the best things in our life. As opposed to when we think about it, when we worry about if it's good enough, about what others are going to think about it. Which is why I always say to people, focus on the doing, not the outcomes, whatever that you do. And you will be better at what you do. You will have a better flow, a better focus, a better experience as well. Shaber, I would like to know if you're a mentor. Yes, I am. I mean, I don't know what you call a mentor, but I'm a therapist and coach. And I offer mentorships, essentially. I look after people and I address their emotional baggage through hypnosis, RTT, all those things. But we also address mindset and how we think, how we have a better relationship with our emotions, with our intuition, depending on the individual's needs. We are habits of emotions and habits of thought as well, to address both. But because we are first and foremost emotions, we must start with our emotional blocks, with our emotional triggers. And this is what therapy is. Therapy is about addressing emotions. Mindset and coaching are about addressing thoughts. It's about the cognitive. But it works together because we are both. Pascal Dave, hello. Resilient Warrior, thanks again, Didi, for your work and effort. I shared your quote to my patient at my hospital and it touched her. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Resilient Warrior. Thanks for being an inspiration and encouragement. It's my pleasure always. And thank you for appreciating it. Reborn, if a glass is half full and half empty, how do you see it and why? It depends. This is the principles of quantum physics. Nothing is one thing. Whatever that we observe is only what it is based on the position of the observer. And so for someone who is pessimistic, the glass is half empty. For someone who is optimistic, it's half full. For someone who's thirsty, is going to go, "Brook, I don't care, I'm just going to drink the water," and so on and so forth. Everything is about our perspective of it. Our perspective will create a context, and that context will determine what that thing is within that context. And this is quantum physics principles applied in everyday philosophies and perspective of reality. The way I see it depends on my state, essentially. But because I am optimistic, if I was going to be asked, I would probably say it's half full. Clorox, New Age Mumbo Jumbo. Okay, so that's your second attempt. Clorox, I'm going to block you. Okay, it's a serious page. I don't know how old you are. You may be a kid, or you may be very angry. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So guys, I'm just going to use Clorox as an example as to how we set boundaries. From now on, everyone, forget about Clorox. Let's forget about the comments. So nothing that they say is going to stay, and it doesn't matter. Okay. So first thing, I'm going to report. I'm going to put harassment. And the next thing I'm going to do is to add user on this channel. There you go. Okay, I think it's done. Let's move on. Ashley, what do you believe about the law of attraction and manifesting? I believe in that. So basically, it's not that I believe, I understand how it works based on my belief. So for some people, it is a belief. But for me, really, the law of attraction is no more no less than the law of cause and effect. So basically, everything that we do, the whole universe is made of energy and we're all connected somehow. And so whenever something is moving, it's affecting other things in some capacity. That's the principle of the butterfly and the hurricane. A butterfly flaps its wings in a part of the globe. On the other side, there's a hurricane as a result of that. And so basically, we're all connected in that sense that whatever we do is going to impact people and things around us. And subsequently, that will create momentums of motions that will affect other things. And so whatever that we are experiencing in this moment is the collection of everything that is happening to us, directing at us in this moment. And also the continuation of what happened to us from our childhood. And so from that perspective, there's no such thing as free will. Everything is just a flow. Everything is the continuation of whatever started before. And the law of attraction is actually that. Whatever we're going to do, whatever we're going to feel is going to... So let's talk about physical reality. Whatever action we take is going to impact our reality, right? And with the law of attraction, there are ways to explain it from a psychological perspective. Whichever way you feel is going to affect your behavior, which in turn is going to affect your reality as well. And so it's connected. It's all the same thing. Whatever that you do, whatever that you allow, whatever that you think, whatever that you feel, whatever belief that you have, whichever way you experience reality, and whichever way you're going to respond to that version of reality, is going to create another thing the next moment, and that is the law of attraction. That is karma. Karma is the law of attraction. And so the way it's explained in social media is that we want to manifest and choose what we really want in our lives. But we don't realize that we're already manifesting everything about our life. Everything about our life is literally the manifestation of what we are, what we believe, what we feel, each moment, one moment at a time. That's it. And so if you want to manifest something specific, you want to make sure that we understand that we must feel, first and foremost, that that thing is something that we really want and that is available to us. Law of attraction. We must have some cohesion between the thinking mind and the feeling mind. And so the way we explain it is that thoughts are like electrical signals. Emotions are like electromagnetic forces. And so the thoughts are what? And the electromagnetic force is going to be the energy that either attract or repel that what. Gosh, there's someone screaming outside. Angry person. Okay, I hope they get better. But anyway, so when we talk about the law of attraction, we want to basically make sure that there's an alignment. Otherwise, if the emotion, if the feeling doesn't back up what we want, it's not going to attract it, it's going to repel it. And so the very simple example is like, let's say, if I want to manifest winning the lottery. So the thought is going to be winning the lottery. But whether it happens or not will depend on your emotional state in regards to that thought. So if you think, I want the lottery because I'm sick of my life, I hate my situation, I don't believe I can ever make that sort of money, and I really want to have a mansion in Hollywood or any of those things, now we're going to come from a place of scarcity, a place of lack, a place of despair. So the energy is going to repel what we want. But if you come from a place of happiness and abundance, I've got everything going on for me, I'm satisfied, I'm grateful about my life, I know that I can have all sorts of things, and I would love for that experience to happen because it's fun. Now we're elevated, and now we may be able at some point to make this happen and to attract it. But the psychological aspect of that is that if we are happy, then we are also allowing ourselves to be in a different mental state. We can see things clearly, we can see opportunities, we can welcome luck, we can invite opportunities, and all of those things will add up and create more momentum towards abundance or whatever else we want to manifest in our lives. And so I just realized that I was a bit over the place because I was also thinking about that guy shouting in the park. So I don't know, did any of the things that I said made sense? Did it help in any way? But to me, the way that I see it is that we already manifest our life. Everything about your life is literally the result of what you feel, what you think, what you believe, and what you believe your reality is about, what you believe is available to you or not. And so there's something that I can add about this. When it comes to the law of attraction, we cannot align what we think and how we feel if you have some emotional wounds that are not healed. This is why so many people can't manifest the things that they think they want. And so they must really go through therapy or address their baggage first and foremost. If they want to play with that principle, with those energies and manifest stuff. We cannot manifest things that we want if we are still dealing with survival, if we're on a survival mode. This is why so many people are so angry and upset at the law of attraction, because they have so much bigger things to address before we could ever get there. And in the meantime, what they will keep manifesting is their reality, based on their trauma, based on their hurt, based on their limiting belief. Rural sheepdog, do you believe in a straw has one hole or two? So we're talking about, let's talk about quantum physics. It depends. In one reality, a straw has one hole. In other reality, it's got two. And there may be even other realities where there's more than one hole. There you go. Here's my answer. Shabir, hello again. YDJ's software. Shout out to my little brother Nick Girls today in his birthday. Okay, happy birthday, Nick. Shabir, can CPTSD be erased from reoccurring? Yes, absolutely. So CPTSD is not a thing. CPTSD is the state of our brain because of what happened to us in the past. And so that can be changed over time, because our brain is constantly readjusting all the time. Our brain is plastic, and so what it means is that it's constantly changing and adapting to whatever we are doing, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are repeating is going to be reinforcing new things. But we feel that our life is never changing because we keep on repeating the same habits of thoughts, the same habits of emotions and reactions, which in turn will create the same habits of behavior, which in turn will create the same reality for us. But it's absolutely possible to let go of the hypervigilance. It's absolutely possible to let go of the low self-esteem. It's possible to let go of the constant state of edge. Those are absolutely possible. And it's different for everyone. But essentially, when we are suffering from CPTSD, we are basically very paranoid. We have a very dark outlook on life, and we see ourselves like not much because of whatever happened to us. And so all of those things can absolutely be changed. And I believe that over time, it's even possible to no longer have any symptoms of CPTSD. So it depends on the age, because if you've been suffering from something for many, many years, it can take some time. And also, because we are multi-layered, it's not like we change this or that. We're just going to change some aspect of how we function within certain configuration because of the CPTSD, right? So we want to address each and every one of those things one at a time, starting with the situations that are the most important to us, the most problematic. But yes, it is absolutely possible to change any aspect of ourselves in some capacity if we work on it, if we have the right protocol and we keep doing it until it works. I'm realizing my hair a bit all over the place. I didn't do my hair today. Again, for those who don't know, I'm having some physical health problems, and so I'm not working today. And but I'm very happy that I was still able to do this today. Alex J. Wee Babu. Hi Didi, why is it so hard to commit to a deadline? It's ruining my life. We all have different brains. And so if we are neurodivergent, so if you have ADHD, for instance, or CPTSD, it's going to be very difficult for you to focus on something because your brain is constantly wired to seek the danger, seeking some sort of emotional safety. And so that's why it's difficult for you to do that thing, to be remembered of a deadline. So this is very common for both people with ADHD, but also people who have trauma. It's not that we can't focus on one thing. It's that we are focused on too many things at the same time. We're constantly on the edge, our brain is trying to scan our environment constantly to make sure that we are safe. And because of that, now we are forgetful, or we don't have the dopamine that will get us the focus to do that thing that we know we want to do. We just can't do it. And so it could be all sorts of different reasons. But it's not because there's nothing wrong about you. You just need to understand yourself, learn to find out about yourself so that you can pinpoint what it is you must change about yourself. Yeah. Do you believe that you may be on the spectrum of some conditions? Alex? P. Ether said hi. Hello. Resilient Warrior. I like that amygdala reference, Didi. Thanks for explaining. Been hearing a lot of hacks in online, like push hard. We don't want to push things hard. We live in a culture that has always been like that. Push hard, force. And we must realize that for us to change, just like if we want to teach kids, the best way for them to learn is not to force them or to punish them. It is to inspire them, to show them so that they want to go there on their own accord. And that's the difference. If we're forcing kids to do certain things, we're not teaching them anything else but fear and obedience. But it's the same thing with us. The way we treat ourselves is the way a lot of people treat their children. And we want to change this. We don't need to be hard to ourselves. I have to do this. I have to be, again, strong. Otherwise, I'm bad. I'm not enough. Instead, we want to say, okay, I'm struggling with that because of X, Y, Z. And it's not my fault, but it's okay. I'm going to do my best. And my best is always more than enough. Thank you for the little hearts. Jennifer Lupinski, hello. Resilient Warrior, thanks for being neutral. I'm learning to be more understanding with it and more observant. Okay. Jennifer Lupinski, so cool to see you. Thank you. P. Either, Jesus loves you. Thank you very much. I know that he does. I know that Jesus loves me. I also know that Buddha loves me. I know that Allah loves me. Zeus, Odin, Krishna, they all love me. Ganesha loves me. And I love them back as well. So thank you for your input, P. Ether. But just so you know, I'm not big on people who are, there's something called religious narcissism. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that you are. You may be, you may not be. But religious narcissism is really the idea of trying to control and manipulate people through religion. And it often starts with Jesus loves you. Because I want you to realize that we don't know each other. And out of nowhere, you come onto my platform, and the first thing you say is, Jesus loves you. Why would you do that for? Anyway, let's move on and see what happens next. Pumpkin Puff. Hi, Didi. How are you today? It looks like you are somewhere different. Yes. Again, I had some problem with my foot, with my gout. I can only move with the help of 2 crutches. And so I'm not in my office today. I can't stand up. I'm sat down on the sofa in the living room. And that's why the setup is slightly different. It happens. Jennifer, your videos have really helped me. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Camilla, I love Didi too. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Camilla. Jennifer, kindness is a superpower. Indeed, indeed. P. Ether, why is people stand for, please? What is PPD? What is PPD stand for, please? PPD, I don't know. Did you mean BPD? We're talking about borderline personality disorder. If you mean BPD, it is borderline personality disorder. It's a personality disorder that is born from trauma, and it affects our perception of the world. We're going to be paranoid. We're going to overreact. We won't be able to regulate ourselves emotionally, and this creates a lot of trouble in relationships and much more problems over time, because we are creating so many problems that we are now living with an awful amount of shame. What's wrong with me? Why do I keep on doing this all the time? And then, yeah, it can be very problematic. I suffered from this myself for many years. Can. Okay, thank you. I have ADHD and trauma and can a little bit feel with you. Okay, so if you have those conditions, it's normal, but it's difficult for you to reach your deadline. Your brain is different. Your brain has different priorities. It doesn't care about the deadlines. Your brain wants to keep you safe. It feels that you are not safe. And so deadline, what deadline? Is the list of your concern. So you want to address your PTSD or CPTSD and understand more about your ADHD, as in how can you create a lifestyle and environment, a life that works better for you as well. I believe that I have ADHD myself as well. Kay Stevens, yes, some people are impossible to deal with because of their trust issues of the past. Yes, boundaries are crucial with people who choose to grieve the past. Boundaries are important for everyone, and it's not for people, for us. We want boundaries so that we know this is who I am, this is my space. Whoever is going to respect my space can be my friend. Whoever doesn't, we're not ready to be friends yet, or maybe even ever. We don't do this for people. We don't do this with certain people. We do this for ourselves. We want to remind ourselves of what matters to us and want to live by those rules so that we become that person that always has some power over anything in their life. Shabir, hello again. Pranav, is it wise to forcefully develop interest in certain activities? No, it's never right to force anything. If you force something, what is going to happen? Whatever you force is going to resist. You may win overall, but it's a lot of effort, there's a lot of pressure, and what you get will be the result of what you forced. And so I was talking about it just before. When you force something, you are creating something that is reflecting that sort of energy. And there's a difference between forcing something and allowing something to... yeah. Think about a flower. You don't force a flower to grow. You allow it with time, with some love and sun and water to eventually flourish at its own pace. And so this is what we want to do. This is how we grow. We can reach anything through either force or through inspiration, but the result is going to be very different. Whatever we force comes with fear, shame, and a lot of negative stuff like that. Anything to do with empowerment is positive, is lighter, and it's more open. It allows more. Resilient warrior. Anxiety is a thought without control. Flow is control without thought. Oh, let me think about this. Anxiety is a thought without control. So I don't agree with that, because we shouldn't control anything. So it sounds good. That's why I was like, aha, a little bit of poetry here. But anxiety is not a thought without control. Anxiety is an emotion. Anxiety can be born from a thought, and control has nothing to do with that. Flow is control without thought. That second part is true, however. Flow is... No. Again, no. There's no control. Flow is the opposite of control. Flow, you're going with the river. You're going with the flow. You don't control it. You go with it. You can focus on the direction with that flow, but you don't control anything. I hope it makes sense. It sounds good. For 1 second, it did sound interesting. And when I thought about it, the moment there's control, it doesn't work for me anymore. Control is an illusion. Control is our enemy. Control is exactly what creates so much problems for so many of us. The idea that we should control things. We don't want to control anything. You want to understand things. You want to understand what we can do in this moment. But there's no need to control anything. Control is an illusion that is born from fear. I need to control. I need to be strong. Yeah. Ryan, you are a lovely man. Thank you for all your work and sharing. Thank you so much. Bravery and kindness. It's a treat to hear your wisdom, life experience, and advice. Thank you so much, Ryan. I'll keep following. Thank you. I appreciate your support. So that person was blocked, so we don't see the messages anymore. Sandra, who are you? Who am I? I am many things to many people. To you, I am a random guy on YouTube who is a therapist and coach and is there to do its best, to use his free time to give a bit of Didi's love, a bit of karma, payback. So basically I'm here to give some advice, suggestions, recommendations about mental health, therapy, psychology, and anything to do with our perception of reality so that we can make the most of any aspect of our life from those places. Claire. I agree, Ryan. Thank you. Sandra, who is your wife? I have a husband. I don't have a wife. My husband is a lovely Englishman. We've been together for like nearly 21 years now. So we are an item. And so, yes, he's an amazing human being. And we are very happy together. Kay Stevens, do you believe in coincidence? I call it synchronicities. I don't believe that the coincidence are essentially, I think I read it somewhere. I think when Daya was saying this, the origin of the word coincidence is from geometry. When two angles of a triangle are going to meet. And so in reality, it was always meant to happen. It's not like, look, coincidences are meant to happen. And so the way that I see it is that everything is always meant to happen. If we can look from the right perspective. Do you believe in coincidence? So yes, I've had some bizarre things happen to me. I think you mean synchronicities. When a stranger came into my life, it was a person invited in by my ex from his past. Yes. So those are synchronicities. Sometimes we may think about someone that we haven't seen for 20 years. And suddenly, right after, bang, we have notification on Facebook, that person has found us and wants us to befriend them. The information, the thought came before the experience. This happens to me all the time. When we work on ourselves and we are in a better place, we have more of those moments happening. There's some crazy stuff. It can really be weird. But I believe in that, absolutely. For me, the way that I see it, synchronicities are basically having a preview of something before it happens. We can feel and think, and just right after bang, something is going to materialize that thought into our reality. Claire, are you based in the US? No, I'm in the UK, in London, but I operate internationally online, on Zoom. So I look after people from all over the world, including many Americans. Crazy Catty, hello. Cat Lego Baboyi. Jesus is the only way, only truth, the only life. Jesus is your creator. So I'm glad that you found a system that works for you. I don't believe in that myself. I believe that Jesus is awesome, but I believe that we all have different systems to navigate through this existence. So for you, it's Jesus. For some people, it's going to be Ganesha. For some other people, it's going to be anything. The spaghetti monsters, the flying teapot, the big juju in the mountain. It could be anything, and it's okay, right? And so I appreciate that you found your thing, and I wish you all the best. Magic Cat, good day to you. Hello, good day to you, Magic Cat. Cat Lego, Jesus, Crazy Ski. Yes, it makes perfect sense. Fantastic, thank you. Sandra Horn, this is 2224. Crap, I don't understand. Yosuke Hanamaru, do you speak English? No, I don't. I'm afraid I can't speak English. Claire, yes, perhaps we need basic needs met before we can work with the law of attraction. Yes, absolutely. We want to do things, we want to have some sort of control, but what we want to really do is to, instead of trying to get something, we want to let go of what has been holding us back up to this point. And this is the principle of the yin and the yang. In the Western world, it's all about doing, having, confirming, proving. And this is only one aspect of the equation. There's a time to focus and take action, and there's a time to let go, to allow, to surrender. And so what we really want to do is to realize that if we suffer, if we are not happy, if we don't have certain things, it's not because we need to do more. It's because we have a lot of things inside of us that are basically preventing us to get those things. And so the way that I describe it is that in order to be happy, we don't want to do more things to get the happiness. We want to let go of all the things that are preventing us to appreciate happiness in this moment. And so, yeah, we want to address our trauma, or limiting belief, any of those things. Yosuke, I am dying. I'm not sure what to make with that, considering your first comment. Kay Stevens, sounds like you've got an audience of trolls today who have no life. Yes, there's plenty of them. It happens. I think the more popular you become, the more you attract people. And so it was always meant to happen. It's normal. I appreciate this. I think it's a good sign. It means that there's a lot of people who are seeing me more, including lots of trolls. But my channel is growing very, very well. It's very, very steady. And so I think it's a normal consequence of it, and I must appreciate it. Sandra Horn, I can see a lot of negative comments. Sandra, I'm going to block you now, okay? Because it's clear that you just want to get a reaction from me, so I'm not even going to read the comments. And I want you to know that we're not going to read any of your comments. So whatever you've done was just a waste of time. And I wish you all the best. I wish you to maybe find a way to let go of that anger and frustration and hurt that you are channeling through your naughty comments. Okay, so Sandra Horn, where is she? Hard user on this channel. Bang. Done. Let's forget about Sandra Horn and let's carry on. AK, what you do? Yosuke, so many trolls today. Okay, I'm not sure what to make out of your comment. Crazy Catty, lots of heart emoji. Ah, that's better. Thank you. Flat, what is the best way to boil rice, please? Okay. Another one. There's so many of them. I'm just going to ignore you for now. Okay. AK, what is saying anyone? Please tell context. Another one. Gosh, you know what? I may not block all of you because it's taking a lot of time. There's so many of you. I'm just going to ignore you for now and see what the next moment brings. Crazy Kitty. Sandra, bugger off if you don't like this channel. Thank you so much, Crazy Kitty. Yes, bugger off, Sandra, and all of you. Okay, Yusuke, I'm going to move you as well. I'm going to move you. Hide, okay. I think it's the only way to do. AK, let's move him as well. This is the price of success. Flat. Remove. It's actually quite easy. I'm going to do this more often. Just bang, 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 bang. And then we are better off. Until the next ones. Crazy Kitty, I like your hair. Fantastic. Thank you. I didn't do them. This is me au naturel. Crazy Kitty, get well soon. Thank you. Shorty. Shorty, I'm going to go and delete you. Let's move on. Resident Warrior, thank you for making my lunch break, DD, meaningful and valuable. Fantastic, thank you. Thank you for your heart. Now back to work. More power to you, brother. Thanks, yes. I wish you well and see you next time. Thank you, Resident Warrior. Claire, happy to be here with us despite all the mean-spirited comment. I hope you don't let them affect your well-being. No, not at all. I used to react to everything and everyone all the time. I used to be very insecure and take everything personally, but I've been working a lot on myself, and now I couldn't care less. Now, because I understand, I don't even see those people like enemies. I really see them like just regular human beings that are hurt, and they are using the system in the way they think they should be using that system to feel better about themselves. We all want to feel better about ourselves. And again, I used to be the same, so I totally get it. But it's just that it doesn't help us within the frame of our conversation, within the vibe that I want to have in this life. Evil K. Hide, move, remove. Asumi, hello Asumi. I'm new here. What content did you make? I talk about mental health, therapy, psychology, and human behavior. So if you have any question, do ask. Izu, loving faces emojis, thank you. Kay, I agree what you said about forcing a child to do things to please the parents, to have bragging rights. That behavior is toxic to a child, in my opinion. Yes, thank you. Jean Gillett, trolling says more about them and how lacking they are in many areas. What they say is really more about themselves than the people they know nothing about. It's true. Whatever people say is only always the reflection of themselves. But it goes with me, with you, with everyone. And so essentially the way we come across in the world is going to be us expressing how we feel inside. And I did a post not long ago that went like this. Whichever way people treat you, is never a reflection of your worth. It is always a reflection of their emotional state. And so there you go. So when we understand this, when we fully understand this, we never need to take things personally or react or be annoyed by those people. As you've seen on my live, and I'm going to leave that live on my page on YouTube. All my live streams are to be found. After a few hours when it's uploaded, you can always replay the video. And it's so easy to deal with anyone. Could it be trolls online or toxic people in real life? We can easily set boundaries, take action, and just move on. Asumi, Jin, I love seeing your shorts. Thank you. Thank you, Jin. Pumpkin Puff, I'm sorry about your foot. I wish you a speedy recovery, and I'm happy you could still go live today. Thank you, Pumpkin Puff. Asumi, can you say my friend's name, please? It's fun to say people's names about foreigners. Why are you calling me foreigners? I'm going to assume that based on your name, English may not be your first language, so maybe you didn't mean to say something offensive. Can you please say... I'm going to listen to my intuition. And because there has been so many trolls, I'm going to block you out as well. I could be making a mistake, but this is what my gut is telling me. Hard users, it's much easier for me. I don't need to worry and to think about those things anymore than what they deserve to be thought about. Cher Bear, what should I do to stop my neurodivergent brain to gain trust intuition? Because you are neurodivergent doesn't mean that you can't have intuition. If anything, you have it probably more than neurotypical people. What you want to realize is what it is. And so the very simple way we can recognize intuition is by remembering the time you had it, the times you had it. And so what I'm trying to say is that we all have those instances when we knew that there's something we should have done or not. And right after we're like, why did I go against my intuition? And so this is what you want to remember. And then based on that, you will know how it feels, how you experience that intuition. And the next time you have it, give it a chance. Follow it, listen to it, and see what happens. And the more you do this, the more you're going to reconnect with your intuition over time. Does it help? Who was it for? Cher Bear. Resilient Warrior. Didi, thanks for sharing that you have grown from the past. What's your thought on even though you've changed and grow? Some still try to think you're still that person. I learned not to prove, just move on. Yes, it doesn't matter. We all experience a different reality, and there will always be people who will be thinking ill of you, and some who will think good of you, and some who will think nothing of you, and it's okay. Just hang out with the right people. If some people are going to always be displaying some negative attitude, saying dismissing stuff, maybe it's easier to not see those people anymore, right? It's a big world out there. We don't need to hang out with everyone. And so whatever people think of me, I couldn't care anymore. I really couldn't. I used to take everything personally to a very, very unhealthy level because borderline personality disorder, ADHD, and this and that. But now I have totally understood and now accept that everyone projects their own reality anyway. And so whatever people think or say or do has nothing to do with me. Nothing that anyone does or say or think has nothing to do with anyone else but themselves. We're just projecting our own energy and our own experience and our own reality out there in the world, and that's it. And if anything, the more we're trying to prove them wrong, the more we're trying to explain and to justify it, the more we are confirming that we believe that what we say is true. We're feeding their conversation, we're feeding their narrative. So the best thing to do is to just move away and think, okay, that's what you think. But I don't know what to do about this, think that. It's not like that, but if you don't accept my explanation, it's fair enough. Bye-bye for now. Pumpkin Puff. Understand that things are constantly changing, but I'm struggling with letting go and accepting change. It's a process. It takes time to let go of the fear of change, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of the unknown. We all have this, especially in this society and culture. We've been taught to try to control everything, but in reality, we must appreciate and embrace the fact that everything is changing all the time. There's not one person, one thing that is not changing every single moment. It's the nature of the universe. Your body changes, shape and decays. Your brain, your mind, your social status, your perspective about spirituality, everything changes all throughout your life in some capacity. Now, they may not be changing the way that you want them to be, but we all change. Everyone changes each moment all the time. And so the moment you realize and accept this, things are much easier. I'm changing already, so I might as well choose the direction of my change. Yeah? K is key. Thank you for the little heart. I'm stuck in a lethargic state. I'm burned out for a long time and have social anxiety. How do I get out of this lethargic state? You start with an entry point. You start with what you can do. You won't be able to change 100% just like that. But there's one thing that you can do. You want to find out what it is. And what I would suggest you is to find ways to feel better about yourself. There are tons of things you can do.